So among the many dumb memes about Yuumi, I think one of the most common ones is that she's a sort of version of Sona. And I mean, obviously all Enchanter supports do fairly similar things, and in that sense, they are similar champions. But like beyond that, I don't think they are. And I think a lot of the confusion comes from how similar their ults seem. Because Sona's ult is this big yellow rectangle, and Yumi's ult is also a big yellow rectangle. And meanwhile, Janna's ult is this green circle. It looks nothing like either of them. And obviously, they are both AoE CC, but I really do think a lot of the confusion and conflation of the two ults comes from how similar they are visually and not how they actually are used in the game. So Sona's ult is almost instant and doesn't really have anything to do with the cadence of her other abilities. Uh, you might use your E to get in position to use it, or like cue someone after for the auto and just try and burst them or something. But basically, it goes off really fast. Now, Yumiel, on the other hand, takes 3.5 seconds for her to like channel it, which is a really long time. It locks you out of using Q or your passive in that time. You can still move W around to people and use your E as well, but it locks you out of using your passive and your Q, which is a big deal. Because ideally, you would want to, use your other cooldowns before your ult cooldown so that while you're channeling your ult, they're coming off cooldown. And obviously, there might be a case where, everyone's just lined up and you just need to press R or something. So it's not always the case. But as a sort of like optimal, I don't know, just use of the abilities in some cases, if you use your Q and your passive before you press R, they will be coming off of cooldown in that 3.5-second channel time. Whereas if you don't use them before ulting, her Q and passive will just be sitting there for 3.5 seconds um, off of cooldown, but you can't use them while you're channeling your ult. Which isn't to say that that's always wrong, but it's just a disadvantage. And so, as a sort of helpful, similar example, with Janna's ult, you always want to use your shield before you use your ult, so that your shield will be coming down off of cooldown while you're channeling your ult, because you want to be channeling it. Um, and so, obviously, the two aren't the exact same in that Yumi's passive and Q may take longer to use than Janna's shield, which is pretty much instant. Um, but the sort of principle of uh, you have your basic abilities on cooldown so that they're coming off of cooldown while you channel this other longer ultimate is actually the same, I think, with Janna and Yuumi. Also, it just doesn't stun people instantly like Sona ult does, so it's not the same sort of initiation ability, um, because you're going to need to hit people with 3 waves to CC them. So you can't just use it in the direction they are now, because they might just move. You need to like aim it, sort of towards the enemy nexus, so you can maneuver it throughout the later seconds, or like down a corridor or something. But the point is, it's sort of slower to CC people than Sona ult, so it's really pretty different. More like even like a Nami ult or something than a Sona ult.